Hello everyone, this is Iqbal Khan and we're looking at one of my privets. This is collected material and I have been working on it for 3 or 4 days now, and I thought I ought to record it. I've cleaned it up quite a lot, but they're still at very early stages, so I'll give it a quick turn. You can have a close-up. That's going to be the front. I've already started carving here at the back, here and here, and also started sorting out where I want the branches to be. It's growing quite vigorously, and I think now is the time to start sorting out where the branch structure is going to be. There's quite a lot, and gradually I'm pruning the branches, thinning it out to try and get some sort of shape. I'll also be removing this branch here. I think it's too low, and so that will be the front, and we'll have a clean line here, so that's coming off shortly. I'm just going to remove this branch for now. Quite a knob where the branch was, so I'm just removing that. Hello everyone, this is a privet which I have had for a few years now, I think about 3 to 4 years now, and for the last couple of years I've just let it grow, and the idea was to thicken the branches, and it looks like a bush, and I'm now going to prune it and reduce it in height. Unfortunately, as I've started filming, it started to rain, so I'm going to have to turn the camera off and see how much of pruning I can do, or will revert back to it at a later date. I am trying to continue in spite of the rain, and I've done some work off camera, and it sort of slowed down, and sadly this is how our weather is. And yesterday I was in a supermarket, and this lady shopper next to me said, "Whatever happened to our summer?" And that's a topic of conversation here in England. You can meet a complete stranger and strike up a conversation about the oddities of the weather. It's now starting to get heavy again, so I'll just quickly finish this bit. So I'll do a quick 360, so at least you can see how much I've managed to achieve, and we'll have to continue another time. I had to stop last week because it started to rain quite heavily, and I'm working outdoors, so it just wasn't practical. The equipment was getting wet, my tools were getting wet, and I was getting soaked. Anyway, today it's a very nice, bright, sunny and a very hot day. It's perfect for working on the trees, except for the fact that it's very hot, and I'll have to cool down with a beer or two as the day progresses. So we'll crack on, and I'll remove this, lower it down onto the lower turntable, and have a go at removing this. It should come off. If not, then I'll have to cut the plastic pot. It's been in this pot for a number of years now, be very interesting to see what's down there. And oops, it's come out, but put that away, and now start working on the roots. So start removing all this soil, and the roots have gone round, and you can see the bottom. It's very, very busy down here. Well, we'll see when we get there. There's lots of roots, lots and lots and lots of roots. Privets are semi-deciduous and lose some of their leaves in winter. They like to be in a nice sunny position, and I'll give more information on their care and maintenance as we go along. There's a lot of very, very fine roots, but there's a limit to what can be done. I have to keep stopping and starting due to these planes. So if that happens, I will just stop the camera and carry on and resume when the planes are gone. And also this is a very slow process, so I will have to crack on and catch up with you all shortly. I'm working my way around the root ball and using a chopstick to loosen the soil, and also alternating with a rake. And it's a very, very slow process. The bottom had lots of roots where they had started going round and round. And I think I've had it in the same pot for about 4 years, and desperately crying out for a repot, but it's not quite ready yet to go into a bonsai pot, so I'm going to put it in a plastic mica training pot. Now, these privets, they have small oval leaves, and they bear white flowers in the summer, and it's very pretty. And the branches that the flowers grow on are very twiggy, and they should be pruned back after it finishes flowering. Also, it likes well-drained soil, and in here it's a lot of compost, but also there's a lot of grit and other bits and pieces. The roots have taken over most of the space in the pot, and it doesn't like too much water, so it should be reasonably well-drained soil with plenty of akadama, pumice, grit, and about half or a third of organic matter. And it ideally should be repotted every year, failing that every second year. When you repot a privet, the very thick root should be pruned back. Now, as far as the pruning is, it grows quite quickly, so it can be pruned so fairly regularly. Do bounce back. They're used mostly in hedges here in England. And this little stump came out. Somebody had a hedge removed. That's where this stump came from. And also, we should be cutting back any new shoots after the flowering finishes, and basically continue to prune the new growth and to a desired shape. That's how these little trees are worked on. I'm going to carry on and we'll catch up shortly. And firstly, I'm going to remove the roots from the bottom, these big roots which are at the bottom, so they are not any good. And then we will put the tree upright on the turntable and take a closer look at the rest of the roots. There's all this stuff growing downwards from the middle, and it's best to remove that. I think I'll try and turn it towards the camera and continue with these removing of these big roots from the bottom, and also basically so that it can sit in the pot and the roots growing radially. That's what we want to achieve. I think that should do. Let's see if we can get it to sit on the turntable just about. And I've cleaned it all up. I had to use a hose on it, and it's taken quite some time. It's very, very time consuming to do it like this, but at least you can see what's going on with the roots. And roots is where it all starts, so to get the roots right, then the trunk, and then the rest of it. And what I'm going to start doing now is there's a lot of things not right with this, with the roots. And the other thing that I tend to do is pull the tree up a couple of centimeters, about an inch or so, and so I'm going to remove these roots which are basically high up on the trunk, whereas before it was buried in soil up to here, and now I'm going to pull it up, so these would not look right. So I'm going to remove that one there. Likewise, this one will come off, and use a branch cutter on that one. Yep, there we go. And keep working my way around. This one needs to come off. There's a little small one here, and then this one will go in like that. That needs to come out. There we are. And this one is the next one that needs to come off. They just don't fit in with what I'm going to do. Just basically pulling it out, as I said, so these roots would not look right. This one is also out, and just clean it up here. And we've got another big one sticking up here. So having got these big roots which were so fairly high up, I'm now going to work on the smaller ones, which is this one here. That can come off, and the next to it there's two more. These can come off. Just clean it all up, and whoops, there's another one there. That comes off. And same thing with this one. We'll take this one off. It's not doing anything as big. And same thing at the back. We're going to remove these. So I'll do that next. There we are. It's quite tangled up, so I'm going to have to pull this out. There we are. That's out. Use a rake to tidy it all up. There's these two. These are out. Now, so that's the bit that I'm going to pull out. And now I have to speed up because it's incredibly hot and I don't want the roots to dry out, so I'll quickly give it a good spray. Whereas before it didn't stand up on its own, having removed the roots from the bottom, middle bottom, is now standing up on its own. And I have a pot, and what I'm going to do is also cut these roots off, just shorten them. The big ones can go right back. So I'll just go around the turntable and in line with the turntable. They may have to be shortened a bit more to fit them in the pot, but we'll see when we get there. Also, there's still some big roots here. There's a big one here. I'm going to remove this. There's another one here sticking up or down from the trunk, and there's another one. There we go. And here there's a few which we will remove to lower the roots as the trunk is being pulled out.